Man, there is a lot going on today. Glad you're with us for it. A Tuesday edition of NFL Now on NFL Network from our newsroom in Los Angeles. Trade deadlines coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Andrew Siciliano. This right here is Steve White. And because Harry Styles is playing 15 straight shows at the Forum, Brian Baldinger.
Oh, that's what it is. Yes, thank you, Andrew. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about that?
No.
Oh, is it because the Taylor Swift show was just announced for SoFi? You came to line up for that?
Your pop culture game on trade deadline is like off the charts right now.
Try to figure out why Baldy graces us with his Tuesday presence. We love it, by the way. Coming up in a second, we'll also get you to the highlight. A scary night for the Bengals last night, losing in Cleveland. But we start this show with the trade deadline and a deal that went down about a half hour ago. Another trade in the division for Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, his third. He's sending TJ Hockenson to the Vikings in kind of an odd exchange of draft picks. A couple of 2s, and then there's a 3 and a 4. It's a guy, a tight end, a former first-round pick that's switching from the bottom of the NFC North to the top of the NFC North as he goes to the Minnesota Vikings. And that tape runs really fast. TJ Hawkinson's not actually that fast, but he is very good at football. And this is our first big name traded today on deadline day. Obviously, Roquan Smith was yesterday. These guys working the phones all day long. Ian Rapopport, Mike Garafolo, Tom Pelissero. Tom, start with you. You broke the news here, obviously, with these guys, and you're in Minnesota. Tell me about how this one came together. It's interesting.
It is interesting, Andrew, and it makes a lot of sense for a Vikings team that really had been looking for one more playmaker throughout the process here and saw their starting tight end, Irv Smith Jr., suffer an ankle injury in their game on Sunday that potentially could sideline him for a little bit of time here. A unique opportunity to go get a guy in TJ Hockenson, who was a top 10 draft pick by the Lions, has certainly been productive for stretches during his time in Detroit. And as you mentioned, it's a complicated combination of picks here that's exchanging hands, but really it adds up to a second-round pick. The exact terms are the Lions get a 2023 second-round pick, 2024 third-round pick. Vikings get TJ Hockenson a 2023 fourth and a 2024 conditional fourth-round pick. Again, that all adds up if you're talking about the charts the GMs use to basically a second-rounder here. So for the Vikings, they get their playmaker. They're 6-1. They also get a guy who's under contract through 2023 and potentially could be a long-term part of the team, while the Lions are 1-6 and get value for a player that at this point they may not have felt was going to be somebody they were going to be able to sign for the long haul, guys.
Yeah, and it really didn't seem like there was any momentum toward a new deal for T.J. Hockenson, which, if you're the Detroit Lions, he, of course, very, very good player, but was drafted by the previous regime. And if it's not someone you definitely want to pay more than $13 million per year, like, say, David Njoku got, then a trade for a future draft pick makes a lot of sense. For the Minnesota Vikings, they, of course, are dealing with a high ankle sprain for Irv Smith. He now is considered week to week, so sounds like he is going to miss considerable time, may even end up landing on injured reserve. We'll see where that all goes. So they have someone to take his place in the short term, a really, really good tight end, especially when it comes to yards after the catch, and plus a potential replacement for Irv Smith going forward. This is a win-now move for the Minnesota Vikings and also one that will come in huge in the future.
And it's an interdivision trade, one of those rare ones here, but not rare for Vikings GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in his first season. On draft day, you remember, he traded with both the Lions and the Packers, so not afraid to trade with neighbors. All right, Mike, what about Bradley Chubb?